How does a credit card affect a mortgage application is what we're talking about today, the East Central Business Show. I'm John Naylor, joined by our resident expert mortgage broker, Laura Sillano.
Hello.
Okay, now we're going to do any advice in this conversation?
No, there's no advice, and there's a disclaimer at the end.
Okay, fabulous, all right. Well, anyway, let's talk about that. So credit cards
Yeah.
in a mortgage application, my feeling is it's probably not such a good thing.
Credit cards are prolific. Like, a lot of people have them, and they do impact in a mortgage application. Probably the thing that impacts most, and by impact I mean reduces borrowing capacity.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that impacts the most is often car loans. They pull down on your capacity to borrow for a house. The second thing would be credit cards.
Okay.
So credit cards, for every 10,000 in limit that a person have, it will reduce their capacity to borrow by about $30,000.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And you know, if you think about the interest rate on a credit card compared to the interest rate on a home loan, so if your credit card interest rate is 20% and the home loan rates are currently around 4 or under, or over if it's investment, then the credit card is equivalent to, a $10,000 credit card is equivalent to a $40,000 mortgage.
Yeah, okay, cool. Now, so, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you've got a credit card and cancelling it, but you've shown good history in terms of paying off the credit card, that's not such a bad thing?
No, it's not bad.
Probably not as good as like showing a pattern of savings, I imagine.
Yeah, probably both would be good actually. But if you do have...
That's the goal of the client and the mortgage broker's world, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the best way to use a credit card is to, what I like to do and what I have is a 55-day interest-free period, up to 55 days interest-free. Put all my expenses on there, monthly expenses, and then pay it off in full every month. And that's basically, that is probably the best use of a credit card. If you're not paying it off in full every month, then you're incurring interest costs on that are high.
Okay, and obviously what you're showing in some sort of mortgage application where there is a balance left outstanding and you're paying, it's probably not such a good signal.
Yeah. Okay. It will impact on your borrowing capacity.
But this is the world we live in these days, isn't it? We got, you know, this instant gratification type world we live in, and we'd rather have it now, pay for it later. Afterpay is just, where did that come from? Who invented Afterpay? It's like, I've got concerns.
Someone's making a lot of money out of that, and it's not the people using it.
Okay, that's it. But so obviously that sort of, if you've got that mentality, correct me if I'm wrong, it's probably a bit of a mistake. You probably should stay away from that sort of thing and probably retrain yourself around staying away from the credit card and growing that bill, yeah?
I think it depends.
In general?
Yeah, I think it depends on what your goals are. If your goal is to have a level of financial stability through owning a home and buying a property and leveraging to buy that property, then things like Afterpay are not going to help your cause.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the way that you get into property, unless you've got someone who's prepared to actually just gift you money to get into it, is you generally need to save. So you generally need to be saving a deposit, and saving for something that you don't yet own is delayed gratification, and Afterpay is the absolute antithesis of that. It's the complete opposite. Yeah, you know, so that whole thing for me is just like, don't even go there.
Okay, so there's some, anyway, that's obviously you expressing some very personal concerns, and probably even some of the things you maybe see even as trends in terms of what people come to you with.
Yeah, and the other thing about that as well is that, in my personal opinion, what it does is it gets people accustomed to being able to get credit really easily. And it's not that easy to get credit for something that actually matters. Like, to get credit for a house, there's a process that you've got to go through, and it's rigorous. And if you can just go get Afterpay by breathing, you know, it's just,
Oh wow, we've unleashed the passion there. Have you noticed? I've noticed that
you've unleashed the beast.
You've gone into passionate mode.
Yeah,
anyway.
and also things like credit cards as well. The same thing applies. Like, you know, the fact that you can get them so easily just irks me. But anyway, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, there you go. Fair enough. Well, anyway, look, let's concentrate on what you are good at, and that's helping people get into property. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you do that via bank mortgages or lending.
Yeah. Considered lending.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, let's focus on that, yeah? And that's obviously a conversation best done with Laura Sillano from POD Financial, in my opinion, from what I've grown to know about you.
Yeah.
Now, how do people contact you, Laura?
You can call me on mobile at 0422 320 497 or also email through to the office home@podfinancial.com.au.
Okay, fabulous. We unleashed some passion in that episode with that resident expert mortgage broker, Laura Sillano, on the Central Business Show. We'll speak to you next time.